Hey everybody, welcome back to Suck Less Saturday. It's Neil out here on the Widener Range, working on some stuff, getting ready for our national conference coming up here in Kansas here in a few weeks. One of the things that I need to work on and that we're all going to work on at the conference is transitioning from target to target. So I thought, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's suck less by transitioning better.
You need a shot timer because that which gets measured gets worked on. The Range Tech Timer is the official timer of Active Cell Protection because it is versatile, reliable, feature-rich, and very economical. Check out all it can do at the link below.
All right, so we all know that in a shooting situation, typically everybody's moving or everything is moving. We also know that in, say, IDPA or USPSA, there are multiple targets, so you have to transition from one to the other. You just saw, maybe even last week, I was doing a dot torture. There's transitions even there. There's small transitions and there's big transitions. There's transitions where you need to move your feet and there's ones where you just need to move your eyes and your hands. And so today, let's start delving into transitions at a little bit wider level than a dot torture. Because on a dot torture, you've got two circles that are about an inch apart and it's bang, bang. There's just that much of a transition depending on how far away you are, of course. But let's go today. We're going to do some transitions at about 5 yards apart. Now, there's a few different ways that you can do this and a way that the timer can help you decide what is better. And also there is context in this. If this is a real life situation and you are having to transition, there's a whole nother set of things to think about. On a range here, I'm not going to flag anything I don't want to flag when I transition from target A to target B or B to A or however I want to do this. In real life, there may be something in between there where you need to come down to a safe area so that you're not flagging people or up and over depending on your location and what's going on. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of the contextual side of this. We're really just going to work on transitioning back and forth and kind of think about some of the differences that come from the movements that we make. So I've got my timer set up here. I'm going to set up at 5 yards. I've got the targets 5 yards apart, which means I have got to move my body at least that far, and my hands have got to move a good 1.5 feet to get from one target to the other target. And so for that kind of a transition, I don't need to move my feet. If we go too much further to where I've got to move this far, I may have to pick up a foot and pivot or something along those lines. And again, I am a very low level shooter when it comes to competition kind of stuff and that movement and stuff. So I'm going to try to get somebody on here with me. Excuse me. That can help us through this and help me suck less as well with that. So that's going to come, but for today we're just going to basically stand and deliver and work on some transitions. The typical thing that we see from people is a bang and they come up and over riding the recoil, which is completely fine and acceptable, but we don't need to over exaggerate that where we're coming way up over the target. It can be bang, bang, and just that recoil and basically you're bouncing. I see a lot of people that go out and they press out, bang, come back, turn, bang. That's another way to do it. You can bang and go straight across. You can go bang and come down and come back up. There's lots of different ways to do this. Let's test them and see which one's the fastest and gives us the best scores. How's that? Okay, timer setting. I'm gonna do a start delay between 1 and 3 seconds with no par time. I'm gonna transition back and forth. So the course of fire is gonna be a draw to first shot. Actually, no, it's not gonna be a draw to first shot. It's gonna be a gun in hand. I'm gonna come up, shoot one, transition to the other, and then transition back. Then we're gonna time that and I'm gonna do the different motions. We're gonna see how that works. So the movement is gonna be starting here, bang, bang. Now for the first one, I'm gonna try the first shot and dip down and come back and see my sight and get the second shot and dip down. So this is gonna be I don't know what the terminology for it is, but that's what I'm gonna do. All right, here we go. Okay. Everything's in the black. I got 2 10s and a 9. Ran that in 3:39, so not super fast. The first shot broke in .98, so I wasn't going any too fast on that. The idea here isn't speed, but it's really, I'm just kind of testing those different models. So let's now try just going straight back and forth. So it's going to be from a low ready. I'm going to go bang, come in here, bang, and bang. Okay, here we go. Okay, again, 3 good shots. One of them's a line break, still got all 9s and 10s. That was a 388, a little bit slower. Now my first shot broke a little bit slower as well there in a 1.5, so that added half a second right there, which is about the difference of it all. So the splits were about the same, and so we're gonna say those performance-wise are gonna be about the same now, and we're gonna see what happens next. All right, so this one we're gonna just ride the recoil back and forth. Oh, I'm gonna do that one again because I lost my dot. The Widener range is awesome. The sun comes right through that tree, and when I go to shoot this way for summer, I gotta figure this out. This is a challenge for Neil. That one felt a little bit better. Yeah, so the one where I lost my dot was a 4.75. The last one was a 2.46. And so the transitions were significantly faster than all of that extra movement, whether I was going above, below, in, or out. And, you know, we got back there a little bit quicker. So, you know, this is far from scientific, right? This is not anything, I haven't done enough of it to really say, but just a cursory glance at this tells me that it's going to be faster to ride the recoil back and forth. If we do that, we're going to be a little bit quicker. We're going to get on target a little quicker. The challenge there is, contextually speaking, if there's people in there, we could be flagging people, so we need to be careful. If you're in a competition thing, there may be a no shoot in there, and in some competitions, I'm told that no shoots you can't flag. So, so also be aware of that. I'm not a competitor, so I could be completely wrong there, but I've read that, so I might be wrong. What I want you to do this week, though, folks, is in your dry fire, I need you to go into your dry fire dojo, clear your gun, and work on that first presentation from a low ready or your draw to first shot, and then work on a transition. The big thing with the transition is move the eyes first. You know, if you're a beginner to this, it's eyes, then gun. Eyes, then gun. If you've been doing this for a while and you've got some, it's going to be eyes ahead of gun. So so you can turret a little bit, but the challenge that we have is if we move the eyes and the gun, we get that turret thing. If you've watched any movies with a tank in them, you see the tank go and then it pops back like that. That's a human performance thing, in that if our eyes are going with our gun, by the time we recognize that the target is here, and our eyes tell our brain to tell our arms to stop moving, we've already moved past, and now we have to come back and correct. So if we get the eyes just ahead, we can stop much more quickly. So in your dry fire this week, I want you to do a bunch of dry fire presses, come out, move your eyes, and then the gun to that. That's a great way to start. If you're a little bit more advanced, let your eyes just be ahead of the gun. As long as you're ahead of the gun, you're not going to have the turret thing as much as you should. Spend a little bit of time with that in dry fire. Have some fun. We'll see you next week.